Hey, it's Jan here from Harvey Callis, and I'm going to try this for the first time. I'm going to record my screen, and I'm going to talk to you about some properties I went to look at in the West Queen West corridor, and perhaps share some of my insights. I'm not going to get into too deep, but if there are also properties that I did not cover here in the future videos, please send me an email, call me. I'll happily give you my feedback. I'll be looking at properties every week, every day almost, and if there's something I missed, perhaps you want to come look at it with me, or I can look at it for you and give you some feedback. Anyway, let's get started. First property, I'm going to go cheapest listing price to the highest. 194 Argyle. I just came out on the market this week. It is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. It looks cute on the outside. Nice brickwork, a charming little Portugal pocket. Really nice archway as you walk in. My biggest concern here was that the amount of technical work I'd have to do to get this property up to par, the way some of my renovators, some of my resuscitators like to do it. I found the main floor was oddly below grade in most of the house, even though from outside it doesn't appear it. When you walk out the back, you'll see the backyard is so much higher than the front yard, which makes me a little concerned about water issues and drainage. Then we went into the basement and we saw that the basement was only partially done. You have to underpin it, dig it back so you have a decent sized basement, possibly do a walkout. The amount of land moving and regrading was a little too much for some of the builders I work with in order to realize a profit. However, perhaps a great starter home for Little Portugal for a young family who's not as concerned about doing a ton of work and just having a nice space for them to occupy for the time being, and then worry about renovations at a later date. Great backyard in terms of depth, but what the pictures don't tell you is the grading. You can see at the front, seems nice and high, but if you go to the back, we found it a little problematic, as well as the fact that the basement would need a ton of work. So between those two key issues, technically it was a concern for us. To begin, 46 Cowan, it is in Parkdale, one of the better streets in Parkdale. I find lots of really big homes, detached. This one, no exception, big lot. I love the space in this, good height ceilings. Some concern about the flooring. I think even though the pictures show it, the floor is shiny and new, everywhere you go, you feel like you need to pull them up and start fresh. Possibly update the kitchen, but for a lot of people, it doesn't matter. It's set up as 2 units. I believe the owners live above, and then the main and basement is used as a rental. Again, lots and lots of square footage, lots of space, lots of opportunities to do something with this. And the price is reasonable. I think you just have to come in with your contractor and see what you need to do right off. It's only 3-bedroom, but I'm sure you can break it up into something more. Oddly enough, the bigger washroom, it looks like over here, is actually in the basement. And it's a nice bathroom. It's just you'd want a little bit more amenities above grade, a little bit fresher look. But again, great street. Moving on to 222 Markham Street. Very nice part of Markham. We were talking about north of Dundas, south of College. Markham southbound only in that section. And it's 4-bedroom plus 1 in the basement, 5-bathroom, plenty of that. So let's get into it. It's not particularly wide on the inside. And so while it looks really nice because it seemed like it was renovated about 8-10 years ago based on the kind of finishes they chose, I really like the moldings and the baseboards. They're the thicker stuff, not the cheap single board that you see in some of the modern or updated reno jobs. It gives the property a lot more sophisticated look than you would otherwise. It takes your eye off of some of the more dated finishes that they have here. Again, the kitchen, antique brown, it's something that I've seen maybe 10, 15 years ago being done in places like York, Region, or Vaughan, in the bigger homes. Antique brown, you're not seeing a lot, antique brown. Antique white, you're not seeing a lot of that anymore downtown Toronto. It seems to be white and white and white and brown. Light brown, more sophisticated tiki looks. This is dates the kitchen a little bit. That was in style then. Maybe still in style in French, rural France. But again, lovely, charming. You can do just fine. You won't have to do anything here. It just works really well. Very nice appliances. Good sized rooms, lots of taste. They've done as much as they could with the space that they had here, including this lovely ensuite bath. The basement's good size, decent height ceilings. I'm 6'2", I could stand up pretty good. This is where the utility room is. You have open concept there, more or less. Not a defined bedroom, but they'll need to be in that spot. And then you have a very nice sized backyard. And as you can see, the homes that you're going to be looking at, the homes in the area, are good quality homes, as is that section of Markham, a little bit better than, let's say, between Queen and Dundas, where the homes are a little bit less sexy. I call it sexy. Speaking of that section of Markham between Queen and Dundas, 90 Markham Street, probably one of the nicest homes in that quarter. It's a row house with 3 bedrooms currently above grade, and 1 in the basement. The main floor and the basement, most of the main floor and the basement is a rental, and then the front of the main floor and the rest of the house, second and third floor, are owner occupied currently. The house has been substantially updated by interior decorator, very tastefully done. It's a lot wider on the second and third floor than it is on the main floor. I'll explain to you why in a minute. You can see more sophisticated finishes, beautiful kitchen, Italian appliances. Every level has a walkout deck to the back. Very ample. You see how big this space is. This is one of the sitting room was a bedroom, but it's a family room on the second floor. It's like a bonus family room. There's the reverse of that, one of the bedrooms. The smaller bathroom on the second floor, keep that in mind. I'm going to show you one on the third floor. This is the third floor master. It's huge. You could probably make 2 out of that. And yes, just above here, beside the ceiling fan, is a big skylight. I bet you can create a walk-in closet there too, and you wouldn't miss a beat. You wouldn't worry about losing space. So you remember that little bathroom that we saw earlier on the second floor? What they did here on the third floor is they turned one of the middle bedrooms into this gorgeous walk-in closet, and then increase the size of that little bathroom into this kind of bathroom. It's very nice, nicely done, great finishes. What you don't see in these pictures in the MLS is a very, very ample size stand-up shower, and again, a bedroom that's serving right now as a office on the third level. And as you can see, those are windows walking onto the back, decks on the second and third floor, outdoor spaces. And this is the main floor rental apartment. They didn't touch that very much since they bought it, I believe, in 2011. There's a walkout to the back. You have your huge kitchen here. The basement bedroom gives you that sense of old Montreal. Front room, family, and then the walkout from the main floor of the rental onto the garage single car garage here. And that's how pretty that building is. And you go, wow. Well, if you can see, actually the house, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but the house actually starts from this green door across to this little walkway that takes you to the back. And the second and the third goes all the way across over top this passage here. So the main floor is a little narrower, but the second and third take up almost the entire 16 feet wide on the inside. That's why you have those big, beautiful bedrooms and living room upstairs. So this was listed for almost 2.2. I thought it was worth $2 million at the end of last year. It had very few showings, so hopefully they'll do better this year. And we're moving on to some of the more expensive offerings. 38 Foxley, one of the nicer renovated homes in Trinity Bellwoods. It's between Ossington and Dovercourt, between Queen and Dundas. And so you have all new materials. It's not bad on the inside. It's about 17 feet wide, 17 and a few inches there. Nice flooring, white scraped, I believe it's scraped oak, and it's a bleach color. I like that color for today's renovations. Nice and deep. They chose to put a wine cellar, so to speak, if you call it a cooler, on the main floor beside the kitchen, which actually gobbled up a lot of their counter space, thus the lack of counter space. You have the burners over here. You have very little space back here, so you have to use your island for counter space. And then they had to throw the microwave onto the other side. They're running a space. No, actually, trying to remember if that was the coffee maker or microwave. But there you have it. One thing I found was a little concerning are these drawers. Lots and lots of handles. Looked a little wonky, but hey, maybe you can do something about that. I really like this accent brown fixture above the island. It really picks up on the lowers of the island and the kitchen. And of course, you have the walkout to the back. We have a little family room, fireplace, TV, and they have in the back there a huge heated garage. Upstairs master. Actually, that is not a master. That is one of their, that's the second bathroom on the second floor. They chose to put a big laundry on the second floor, which took up some of the space that I may have been more inclined to use in different ways. Very good sized bedrooms over here. And again, consistent finishes, including these cabinets throughout the house that pick up on the colors and finishes of the kitchen and the bathrooms. This is your master bath, which includes your tub, your stinky room, your double sink, big mirror, and on the other side, you have a huge shower and a sauna that makes you happy. Some people don't take sauna, but they like the look of that, and so I think they'll do well with it. There's your double sink. Beautiful views, Foxley. Good sized yard, and that's the view of your heated garage. One thing that's lacking in this house, to me, living downtown, is you're always looking for exterior spaces. Second and third could have used some kind of a walkout, I think. You'd appreciate the downtown experience a little bit more. And finally, we end up at 53 Palmerston, the highest priced property we're going to look at today. And frankly, with all due respect to the agent, it's not close to being worth it, in my opinion, humble opinion. It looks interesting on the outside. It looks almost like a dollhouse. You have the industrial commercial front doors to the right, the glass doors, which makes it very interesting to look at. But as you walk in through this main entrance, you see the space is actually chopped up in a funny way. The finishes, sorry to say, subpar for the area and for the price, including the step down that really bothers me, down to your kitchen. You really don't have a lot of entertainment space. The kitchen's fine, but you're just so distracted with these multi-level platform living, dining, walkout to the back is the only cool thing, because this backyard is long as a football field, people. And the garage is, looks heated and quite interesting. The owners could have used a little bit more of this backyard to make the house a little bit more substantial. Upstairs, the finishes continue in the same motif, and what ends up being is a very shallow house that has subpar finishes to my taste, and very hard. You would think a house like this, you'd have more entertainment, casual entertainment space, bigger spaces. For that price, you do not. And this is the third level, fully open bathroom, bedroom. So you don't really have your privacy or shelter from any kind of steam or water, for that matter. And the basement's literally a walking, a little corridor that leads you to a bathroom, which is lacking on the main floor because of the small size of it, and utility room. And there's a storage room as well. There's your bathroom in the basement. Let's look from the back, and there you are. I hope you enjoyed this particular preview. If you like to see other properties, or like me to walk you through other properties, or give you some feedback, let me know. I'm going to do some of these and see how you people respond. And hopefully some of the buyers on my Rolodex will be enthused and motivated to come out and look at these beauties on your own in person. Talk again soon. Bye-bye.